What's up, guys? It's UFC Bantamweight Brady Hiestand here, and we're going to go over this weekend's fight card. It's in the main event. It's Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. Honestly, I'm actually really excited about this weekend. Usually, we don't see this many high-level fights on a UFC fight night, so I'm actually really excited. We're going to talk mostly about the main card, but there's a couple on the prelims that I wanted to go over. Number one being, it's my weight class is the main reason, but it's Ilia Toporia's brother, Alexandre Topuria versus Bekzat. And if you guys remember, Bekzat had that short notice fight versus Umar Nurmagomedov and actually looked really good. He dropped Umar in the first round, ended up winning. He got overtaken and kind of powered out in the last two rounds. But for a guy that took it on short notice against what everyone thought was the best in the world at the time, and he's still one of the best. He gave Merab Dvalishvili his best run for his money and did that on short notice. So he's a really big prospect, a very scary dude, and he's good everywhere. I think his grappling, he's a little bit smaller for the division, but his grappling needs a little bit of work, but his striking is so clean. And then obviously on the other side, he has Alexandre Topuria, who had a good showing in his first fight. He beat Volkanovski's Colby Thickness pretty dominantly, kind of was beating him up and pushing him around the cage. And a lot of people say he's more technical than his older brother, which doesn't mean a whole lot in fighting. Like, if you're like slightly more technical, some people just know how to put it together better in the cage. So he is still unproven in my eyes. I still want to see him go against high level competition, which he is on this fight card. So I'm really excited to see that one. I honestly don't know who's going to win, but I'm excited to see it. Another fight is going to be Alex Perez versus Asu Albayev. Me and Alex Perez both had our ACLs worked on. We both had them repaired around the same time, so we were sitting next to each other at the PI, recovering and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to see this one. Alex Perez is obviously a dog. He's good everywhere, good striking. On the other side, Asu has really good striking and really good grappling. So we'll see how that one plays out. Either way, it's going to be a good fight. And then the main one is going to be our featured prelim. It's going to be Bogdan Grad versus Luke Riley. So Bogdan had a really good fight on Contender, knocked the dude out. On the other side, the one that everyone's eyes are on is Luke Riley. I've seen him on social media. He's a really, really big in the UK. Been fighting on Cage Warriors, and he's 11-0 undefeated. I think we're about the same age. He's like 26. And he has a lot of hype coming into the UFC right now. A lot of those UK fighters are good everywhere, but they're just known for being scrappy, which this dude is. And he has good grappling at the same time. Possible future star coming in the mix. Luke Riley, he's on the climb. I'm going to have to take him in that fight for sure. In the main card, we're starting off with a flyweight match. And the interesting part about this is on one side, he's coming from Risen, but he's actually fought in the UFC before. And his backstory is pretty interesting because, yes, he fought in the UFC, and you think, oh, maybe he got cut, which is a common story nowadays, and made his way back. But he was 7-1 in the UFC when leaving. And I think the main reason, from what I've heard, is that he actually just wanted his coach to be able to come to his fights who had cancer, and he's from Japan, and he wanted to fight on a local promotion out there. So he actually left and went to Risen, not because of his record, but because he wanted to for himself. And he probably got paid a little bit more from being back in the day. So he hasn't fought in the UFC in 9 years and is coming back and making his second debut in Kyoji Horiguchi. So he's a big name in the MMA community, has a really deep record, 34-5, and he's only 33 years old. So he has a lot of tread left on the tires, and we'll see how he does against one of Khabib Nurmagomedov's training partners, Tagir. Obviously, if he's from Khabib's gym, he's really well-rounded, but his main style is grappling and wrestling pressure. I remember seeing this dude in the sauna, and this is a big flyweight. He has missed weight a couple times to get to flyweight, but we'll see how he does and how he performs against one of the vets of the flyweight division. Next fight is going to be Shamil Gaziev versus Sergey Pavlovich. Sergey's been around forever. He's fought the who's who of the division. Shamil is one of the rising stars. He's kind of a joke, a little bit of a meme. Everyone makes posts that he could beat John Jones for the title, and a lot of people believe it. He's kind of a funny looking dude, but I'm going to have to go with Shamil just because he's got a lot of hype. He's good everywhere, got some good grappling, which you're going to need versus Sergey Pavlovich. We got Jack Hermanson versus the Neanderthal himself, Orolbia. I probably butchered that name. Either way, this is going to be a good fight. Jack Hermansson's been around forever. He's another vet. Like I was saying, this is vets versus the new guys. Jack Hermansson's fought the who's who of the division, has taken a few losses, but taken a bunch of wins as well. And on the other side, he's fighting a guy that's only taken his first loss in the UFC, has a lot of hype, mostly for his looks, but also for his skill. And so we're going to see these guys clash at it. Jack Hermansson, obviously a very skilled wrestler, and obviously being in the game for so long, he has some good striking, tricky guy. On the other side, we have Orolbiev, who has really good striking, also well-rounded. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. The next one I'm really excited about is Belal Muhammad versus Ian Gary. This is going to be a title eliminator. I'm honestly surprised this isn't one of the main events for a fight night or something like that. You know, Belal just fought for the title not too long ago, lost in a decision against JDM. Now he's trying to build back up, get back to that title. On the other side, we have Ian Gary, obviously a young prospect. He's been in the eyes of the promotion for a long time. He did take his first loss ever versus to the boogeyman of the division, Shavkat. Obviously, we know Ian Gary has got some phenomenal striking. He's from Ireland, but something we have to touch on is he's been training a lot in Brazil with Charles Oliveira's team. And we know that Charles Oliveira obviously has the best grappling, some of the best grappling in the UFC that we've ever seen. So hopefully that's been rubbing off on Ian Gary, and it's going to add to his striking. On the other side, we have Belal, remember the name, Muhammad. You know, he's been well known for his wrestling, his pressure, not known to finish fights, which he gets a lot of flack for, but he is still a hard dude to deal with. He goes out there and he controls the fight. He usually doesn't take a whole lot of damage, and he comes away with a decision victory. In this fight, it's going to be kind of a make it or break it for Belal. I don't know where he goes. If he loses to Ian Gary, he's going to have a lot of building to do. For Ian Gary, it's kind of a no-lose situation. You know, if he loses, he does lose out on the title shot, but he has some building to do. And if he wins, he gets to fight Islam for the title. Either way, I'm here for it. It's going to be an exciting matchup. In the main event, we got Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. You know, Dan Hooker's the OG. He's been around. He's fought the who's who, and he's a fan favorite. He's super entertaining, a tough Australian, known for his striking, not so much for his grappling. He's always had trouble with the grappling in the grappling department. On the other side, Arman Tsarukyan is just a pure athlete with really good wrestling and really good grappling. He's got some good striking, but he has had some trouble with strikers in the past, but he was young. He's coming back. His most notable fight is when he had a really close fight with Islam that he took on short notice, which gave a lot of attention to him and showed his promise. In this fight, it's going to be really entertaining. I do think it's going to be one-sided in Arman's favor, just simply because of the wrestling threat, the grappling threat. So if he has any trouble in the feet, he's going to be able to take him down and kind of finish the fight or control the fight in that aspect. Either way, it's going to be a banger of a main event. You know, Dan Hooker's coming in with all the tattoos, looking like a straight-up killer. So hopefully he proves me wrong and, makes it entertaining.